G'day. First things first, as you may know, I've removed all electronics from the area. That means I have to take a recorder with me to record anything that happens. So if you saw the last Valley update, you'll know I mentioned after removing the electronics, I got an instant reaction. He let himself be heard running up beside the creek towards the feeding area. I caught this on audio a number of times. Now the audio you're about to hear is me stopping and hopping out of the car. The audio has been enhanced for clarity, and there is video from a video pen as well. Okay, so one morning I went out there, and to my complete surprise, after the first initial stomp, 30 metres to my right was another stomp. And 10 metres away from that was another. So it would seem that there's definitely 2 or 3 creatures out there. And why I say 2 or 3 is because the second and third stomping noises may have been one creature running away or 2 more creatures running towards the feeding area. The problem was, the stomping wasn't what I thought it was. It was a signal, if not several signals in one. The stomping was a signal to me, like we're here and we're hungry, but it was also a signal to the others. It's dinner time and move into your positions. It sounded like one of the creatures was running away from me. Why? Perhaps to cover the exit in case anything bad happened. This made complete sense to me. They were acting like a small army, with the head honcho handing out the orders and possibly protecting an inner group of family members. I've been waiting now, for the last 6 months to let you know about the results from the zoologist. Now, when I first sent him the pictures, this was his reply. From my first analysis, I would say they are definitely primate, but they also look very human-like. He then requested photographs of the surface of the hairs, the pattern of the hairs, the scale. This was his reply. Nice work, still looks very human. Now, after waiting 6 months, I decided to email him to see what was going on. This was part of his reply. A couple of dog hairs, but the rest is marsupial. No primate-like things. So in 6 months we've gone from definitely primate to dog or marsupial. I think it's funny, but annoying, but also not very professional, and now I understand why these guys have to be so careful. It's my personal view that there has been a mix-up in the samples, or he doesn't want to stick his neck out. So let's move on. Now, last but definitely not least, it looks like we have some fingerprints. So now I leave a jar out there with the food. 1 week I leave it full of nuts, the next week I leave it full of honey. I've found about 6 or 7 so far, but these are the most convincing. Okay, one of the first fingerprints, as you can see, you've got the general outline there, but it does look wet up here for some reason. Now, the jar is left in the bush for a week, so it's going to be wet, and the weather is wet at the moment. But if you notice this down here, they're the noduly looking things that I really wasn't expecting. Let's have a look at the next one. You can see the general outline here as well. They're about 3 centimeters long, but you can see how wet it is here. Now that's dried up, but it has been very wet. But you can see the general print there. Here's another one. This one's looking a whole lot drier. You can see it there. It's starting to show these noduly type things. Now it does look partially wet, but I'm not convinced that it's fully wet anyway. You can see that they're kind of pointy, which is a bit of a strange one. We'll just go to one of the other ones, this one here. Now you can see there's no nodules on this one, but it's got the general pointy type shape. Now this is, as you can see, this one's about 2 centimeters long, and I think this one's actually one of the kids or something. But if you notice here and up here, there's what appears to be like marks that are possibly left from hair. So the fingers are probably, or very well maybe, very hairy. But you can see the general outline of that one there as well. But this is the one, I believe. Now you can see one fingerprint here. It's quite noticeable, and here's the other one here. Now this is the one, I reckon, that is possibly very close. Now you can see the nodules, which are exactly the same as the nodules on the footprint that I collected. This one's about 3 centimeters long if we include this area down here. But you can definitely see there's 2 fingerprints on there. This one doesn't seem to be wet. This one does. Anyway, okay, a few last things. They keep flogging the containers. Now I have done a search for them and I can't find them. God knows what they're using them for. Maybe to carry nuts or water, I don't know. It's also very cold here at the moment, and I think they've relocated, but they still come back for the tucker. And last but not least, while we've been waiting for all this, or while I've been waiting for all this to finalise, while dropping the food off, I talked to them. But about 8 weeks ago, I got a reply, and I didn't get it on audio. I did have the audio recorder going, but it didn't capture it. Anyway, it sounded exactly like one of my recordings. Here it is in a loop. Sounds like hello, doesn't it? Anyway, I said hello back and tried to encourage him to come out or her to come out, but they wouldn't. But anyway, it's very encouraging, so I got my first hello.